I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones. Adelaide Oaks, isn't it? I received your owl.
Yes, I'm Adelaide Oaks. Oh dear. You see, my Uncle Roland is a metal trader who's quite well known in the goblin community. He normally sends me owls every week when he's on his business travels. In his last owl, he alluded to dealings with those radical goblins, Ranrock's loyalists. It's been ages since that owl and I'm worried. What with the troll attack on Hogsmeade and the rumours that goblins may have been involved, well, I'm fearing the worst. Should I be worried about my uncle, or am I overthinking this?
I think you're right to be concerned, Adelaide. Your uncle may be in trouble.
You're much more understanding than Professor Weasley. She heard I was going to look for him and forbade me from leaving the grounds. She's convinced he can handle himself, but I can't concentrate on anything until I know he's all right. Could you try to find out for me? From what I hear, you're almost as adventurous as Uncle Roland.
Has your uncle traded with many goblins?
Yes, for ages. Even speaks gobbledygook. But he only recently mentioned Ranrock's lot, insisting the galleons were worth the risk. He does it for me. Between robes and supplies, attending Hogwarts costs a fair sickle. And besides that, Uncle Roland has expensive taste. He's sacrificed so much for me over the years. I promised him that as soon as I finish Hogwarts, I shall be the one taking care of him.
I take it you and your uncle are close?
We are. My mother died when I was born, and I lost my father when I was 5. Uncle Roland's looked after me for as long as I can remember. He knows I get anxious when he travels, and that's why he sends me.
I'll try and look into it for you, Adelaide.
Thank you. He's very thorough in his record keeping, notes all his trades in a journal, makes maps. In fact, in his last owl, he drew me a map of his next stop. He'd planned to set up camp north of here. I do hope you're able to find out where he is. Thank you again for any help you can provide.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones. I hope Adelaide's Uncle Roland is all right. She seems very worried. Adelaide mentioned her uncle's camp may be near Brockborough, past the river. This be Mr. Oakes' campsite? Ranrock's loyalists, just ahead. Should I take them by force or be discreet? Easily diverted. Confringo! You won't stop me. Not quite. Defendo, was that your best? Glacius! Arresto momentum. Levioso!
I've been fighting since I missed!
Now to find out what happened here. Revelio. Adelaide said that her uncle kept notes of his trades, maps. Perhaps these landmarks will lead me to him. Mr. Oakes' trade journal. Mr. Oakes' trade journal. A rock formation. That's the first landmark on this map. Now to find the crooked tree. A crooked tree, just as the map said. The crumbling tower shouldn't be far from here. And the crumbling tower. The spot on the map should be directly south of here.
Oi! Pass that fire whiskey over here. You have to learn to share.
Goblins will finally rule over wizards. What's that? Who's there? Aha! There you are!
What do we have here? I may have more luck higher up in the keep. Revelio.
Reminds me of the time I nearly fell out of a car. I was only young. It's not like I'd fall out now. Lucky if I've been in one now. What's going on? Oh, little moon calf. Far from home.
Reparo. Ringo. A ladder. That's what's
Oh, that was meant for me.
Glacius. Levioso.
I will make you pay.
Revelio.
Fall dead asleep on my feet, I could.
I know I can. That's
Petricus totalis.
well, something made a sound. The area's still clear. If anybody cares.
Not the best place for an unaccompanied student.
No witch or wizard will be spared.
Revelio. This is the spot on the map. I'd best have my wits about me. Petricus totalis.
Someone there? Someone's here.
Wingardium Leviosa. Descendo.
You won't get away with that.
Depulso.
Kill spells glance off of me. Pity.
Arresto momentum. Levioso. Levioso. Confringo.
Prepare to surrender.
Stone walls do a prison make, sometimes. Revelio.
By now, we've all told you.
What will we find in here? Revelio.
It's punishment to us all to have that miserable human around.
Feels like
Incendio. Expelliarmus! Confringo! Confringo!
Much better.
It looks as though Adelaide's instincts were spot on. Confringo! Defender! Expelliarmus! Confringo! Incendio! Revelio! Confringo!
All defense and no offense.
Right, not to be worried about you.
Defender!
You won't get away with that. What?
Confringo! Defender! Wingardium Leviosa! Reparo!
I won't rest until you're dead.
Confringo! Defender!
I shall avenge your death. You won't get away with that.
Confringo! Boiler door. Out to one. Ranrock has fooled you all. To your demise. Revelio. Revelio. Confringo.
He'll learn his lesson after being locked away. You can count on that.
Confringo. Defender.
Your acrobatics will only postpone the next.
Expelliarmus.
No!
Confringo. Revelio. Confringo.
Any who oppose Ranrock will be eliminated. Not your best moment, I fear.
Confringo.
You won't be able to stop Ranrock's loyalists.
You only have Ranrock to blame. Aloha Mora.
You ought to cut back on pudding.
Such arrogance.
Confringo. Defender. Revelio.
Afraid to fight. You will regret coming.
Confringo.
You can't stop us. You won't stop me.
Arresto Momentum. Glacier.
I won't rest. Was that your blessing?
Glacier. Confringo. Defender. Incendio.
Certain we can come to an agreement and you'll get set free.
Revelio. Hello? Mr. Oakes?
Yes, I'm here. They've taken my wand. This cell has an enchanted lock. I have experience with these locks, but I need my wand if I have any chance of opening it. Look for a boiler door. I've heard them speak of it.
I need to find Mr. Oakes' wand. Where could it be?
One way or another, we'll get what we're owed.
Expelliarmus! Incendio! Confringo! Incendio!
Nice try. Fight about as well as a puff scheme. No! I will make you pay. I won't rest. One less. No!
Confringo!
Not quite.
Leviosa!
Only Red Rock will hit
Losing your stride.
Arresto Momentum!
Don't you try again, I beg you! I could do this for hours!
Glacier!
This is almost too easy! You're weak, human.
Leviosa! Glacier!
Deadly mistake.
It's the student from the town. You won't defeat us all!
Diagon! Glacier!
Get away!
Confringo!
I've been fighting since
Confringo!
you were born.
Defendo! Expelliarmus!
I
Incendio!
should have been.
That was meant for me. Easily diverted.
Glacier!
I won't rest.
Leviosa! Arresto Momentum! Confringo!
Too slow.
Revelio!
You look tired. Not quick enough.
Leviosa!
I will.
Arresto Momentum! Leviosa!
Think it.
Too late for you to learn the error of your ways. Revelio! This must be Mr. Oakes's wand. Perhaps now he can set himself free.
Please, pass me my wand. I can't get out of this damn cell without it. It's my last hope. Please. Oh, my wand. Oh, thank Merlin. Thank you.
Infernal goblin cages. No key. You did it! I found my wand and... Wait, you're a student? Oh, we must get you to safety immediately. It's dangerous.
It's all right, Mr. Oakes. I've dealt with these goblins before.
Dear Merlin, you're either very lucky or very talented. Well, how did you find me?
I'm a friend of Adelaide's. She was worried about your business with Ranrock's loyalists.
Oh, she was right to be. I couldn't go through with the agreement, and when I told them, I ended up blindfolded and behind bars. Been locked in that infernal cell for so long, they'd forgot I was even there. I overheard things. If only I could reward you for what you've done. Blasted goblin stole every Knut on me. All I can say is thank you, truly.
You mentioned you overheard things.
Sad tale, really. I think I know where Ranrock's unfortunate vendetta against wizardkind began. Although dragon breeding was outlawed by the Warlocks Convention of 1709, Ranrock stumbled upon an illegal dragon camp. He was young, found the creatures fascinating. He'd visit the camp in secret whenever he could, never making his presence known. After weeks of sly surveillance, he finally summoned the courage to speak to the wizard in charge. Ranrock wanted to join them, and the creatures. The wizard happened to drop his wand. Ranrock saw an opportunity. He picked it up, went to hand it back as a means of introducing himself. The sight of a goblin with a wand sent the wizard into an instant rage. He beat Ranrock nearly to death. Ever since, Ranrock has despised wizardkind, sees us all as cruel.
Am I right that you speak gobbledygook?
Unbeknownst to Ranrock's fiends, I do. I've always had an affinity for goblin culture. Knew I wanted to be a metal trader ever since I was a lad. It wasn't easy learning the language. It's complex, and my memory's as weak as my knees these days. But after decades working with fine goblin folk, I grew fairly proficient. At least, I'd like to think so.
You mentioned you overheard things.
Sad tale, really. I think I know where Ranrock's unfortunate vendetta against wizardkind began. Although dragon breeding was outlawed by the Warlocks Convention of 1709, Ranrock stumbled upon an illegal dragon camp. He was young, found the creatures fascinating. He'd visit the camp in secret whenever he could, never making his presence known. After weeks of sly surveillance, he finally summoned the courage to speak to the wizard in charge. Ranrock wanted to join them, and the creatures. The wizard happened to drop his wand. Ranrock saw an opportunity. He picked it up, went to hand it back as a means of introducing himself. The sight of a goblin with a wand sent the wizard into an instant rage. He beat Ranrock nearly to death. Ever since, Ranrock has despised wizardkind, sees us...
I'm grateful I was able to help you, Mr. Oakes. Adelaide thinks the world of you.
Oh, and I her. She's become quite savvy to my trading habits, always analyzing my detailed owls. If only I hadn't resorted to trading with such... Having my wand back is like being reunited with... I must return home and inform Adelaide.
I'll be fine, Mr. Oakes. You get back to Adelaide. I assure you, her worries outweigh yours.
Oh, I'm anxious to see my dear niece. And then... Thank you. May life...
Mr. Oakes was lucky. Ranrock's lot would never have freed him.
Wouldn't mind a plum job at Gringotts. Suit me, sitting around all day. Mind you, could get it boring.
I did say I was sorry.
And you also went on to do the exact same thing.
I wouldn't think Black would mind someone telling on them.
handy resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
Revelio.
And your reading is the dragon. That's exciting, I suppose. Perhaps you're due for an adventure.
Ladies,
Professor Shah.
astronomy is not divination. You won't find the mysteries of the cosmos charted out on your palms or at the bottom of your teacups. Alas, the heavens remain hazy to the starry-eyed. Now, if you were to devote yourselves to persistent and painstaking observation, you just might catch a glimpse. With that in mind, please take your telescopes. Tonight we will be on the observation deck. Still don't have your own? You can't be the new student forever, you know. You can share with Mr. Takar.
Here, I can adjust that for you.
No, bring it into focus on your own. Now, I expect all of you to put in your stargazing hours outside of class. Is that clear?
But, Professor, it's freezing out.
Mere cold didn't stop the great stargazers of the past. Look only to the astronomy tables they erected throughout the highlands from which they gazed millennia ago on the very self-same stars above us. Is that clear? Dismissed.
Hello. I don't believe we've met officially. I'm Amit. I'm something of an astronomy buff. Hello, Amit. It's nice to meet you. Did I hear Professor Shaw say that you don't have your own telescope? I have a spare one you could borrow for the rest of term. That's very kind of you, Amit. Are you sure you won't need it? I'm certain. It's my old one. I finally got my hands on the new Celestia Contemplar. You've heard of it, I assume? I mean, of course you have. It's only the pinnacle of all personal stargazing implements. But my old model's not too shabby either. Goblin-cut glass, first-rate optical enchantments. Hate to think such a fine instrument is just collecting dust. Well, thank you, Amit. Think nothing of it. Anyway, the telescope's in the storage room right underneath us. You can't miss it. I have some, reading to finish on the lower deck. Come find me there afterwards, and bring the telescope. There's something I want to talk to you about.
Tried to put off my stargazing as long as I could. A lot of good that did. How am I supposed to find Sirius when my hands are too cold to use
Revelio.
It's a dog, isn't it?
This was his old telescope. Looks practically brand new.
A pristine night for stargazing. Do not
The perfect night for... I have the telescope. It's nicer than I'd expected. I would not offer a prospective stargazer a third-rate lunoscope. But there is, something else. Yes, what is it? You remember those astronomy tables Shaw was going on about? It just so happens I've been reading up on them a little myself. And it seems there may be one right here at Hogwarts. I believe we could use it to find hidden constellations. And you need someone to help find it? I do. Are you in? No one from the Gobstones Club will go with me. Said they'd rather get spit at by a stone than... Well, they are cowards. Let us get moving while the stars are still out. I'll show you how to use that telescope once we get there. I promise. No need to convince me. Let's get going. Brilliant. You won't regret it. Shall we? The table is on a castle wall ahead. Look for a stone platform, something that doesn't quite belong. We'll know it when we see it. Onwards we go. Some say the locations of the tables were originally marked by centaurs for ritual stargazing. It is nice having a fellow stargazer to explore with. Happy to be here. It is good to leave the classroom now and then. It's not that creepy out here at night, is it? The Gobstones Club are cowards. Here I am, charging ahead. Why don't you lead the way? If you're sure. A little foreboding. A few cobwebs and some dust. Nothing to be concerned about. Oh, of course. Revelio. It's just not as tidy as I expected. Revelio. More cobwebs. You don't think any spiders might be lurking about? Oh no, not this close to school, Amit. I think you should be the honest. The constellation should appear near the center of your view. As soon as you've lined up the telescope, we will be able to fill out our star chart. I was right about the tables. They really are gateways to the far stars, just as the book said. And your contribution was invaluable. Rest assured, you shall be credited in my memoirs one day. Thank you, Amit. I look forward to reading them. And I look forward to writing them. This is only the beginning. You will find more tables like this one throughout the grounds and forest, all beckoning to be discovered by a worthy astronomer. And if I have ever seen one, it's you. Oh, and about my old telescope, don't bother returning it. You should keep it. That's quite generous. Thank you. You are welcome. It has goblin-cut glass and a gobbledygook inscription. It's all in the throat, really, gobbledygook, you know. Anyway, glad...
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented flu powder.
Anything to do with the dark art should be avoided. It's too risky.
Anything to do with Salazar Slytherin is worth the risk.
I can't agree. And I'll not say a word more. I'm sorry.
I won't give up.
What were you and Ominous speaking about?
He's being ridiculous. Apparently Salazar Slytherin had a secret scriptorium here in Hogwarts. Ominous swears it was used for the dark arts, so he wants nothing to do with it. I reminded him that Anne needs a cure. This scriptorium could hold the answers we need.
The dark arts do pique my interest.
There's more to dark magic than people realize. The Gaunts know this. Better than most. Perhaps I've spoken out of turn. Ominous's family history is personal to him.
I'd like to know more about it if you wouldn't mind telling me. I won't repeat it.
Very well. But do keep this between us. Ominous learned dark magic from his parents. Are you familiar with the Cruciatus Curse?
What does the Cruciatus Curse do?
It's known as the Torture Curse. Crucio. It inflicts intense, excruciating pain on the victim. Apparently, his parents and older siblings had no qualms about casting it on muggles for sport. Ominous described the sound of the victim's cries as horrific, so the first time he was asked to cast it himself as a child, he couldn't bring himself to do it. As punishment, his family cast it on him. The anguish was so bad that when asked to cast it again, he relented. I have repeatedly assured Ominous that he did what he had to, but he still hasn't forgiven himself.
How horrible. Poor Ominous. He was only a child. He shouldn't blame himself.
After that incident, the rift between Ominous and his family only grew. That is until I came along. Every moment he isn't at Hogwarts, he's with us in Feldcroft. Ominous trusts me. And more often than not, he winds up listening to me. I'll remind him of that when I follow up about the scriptorium. Watch for my owl. I'll have news soon enough. I'll make Ominous understand. He'll change his mind.